Hey guys, my name is Ray, and today's the day that we are talking about episode 7 of season 7, titled The Dragon and the Wolf. And before we even get into all the good stuff, let me introduce my lovely co-host and wingman, or wing lady, Amelia. Wingman, you like wingman? Alright, so let's stick with wingman.
Correct.
So, you know, you are my wingman, so, you know, we'll stick with wingman. We see that you are very dragon-inspired today.
Yeah.
The makeup.
Got dragon fire in my eyes.
Yeah. Or like Tormund would say, you've been kissed by fire.
Yeah.
I mean...
I wish Tormund would have kissed by fire. Sorry.
Alright, so before we start off, Amelia, let's give some shout-outs to everyone in the chat. Let's give a huge shout out to Aaron, who, you know, donated a super chat to the channel. Thanks again, Aaron, for all your support. You know, crazy. Like I said last week, you know, I was able to buy the mic to thanks for your, you know, donations and everybody else who's supporting the channel. Thanks again, Aaron, for all the support. Show Aaron some love. I want to give a shout out to everyone. Brand the Builder in the chat. Rich Shatwell. The one true David Adams. Let's see. Aaron, once again. AU Pack Mule. You guys should definitely check out AU Pack Meal there. You know, always doing cool, dope stuff. Let's see. Lola Dixie. Stutley Constable. I always botch that. My bad, bro. I don't know why. BBM, the one and only BBM. If it weren't for BBM, I would be missing out on everything pop figures. I am addicted to pops. Do you collect pops, Amelia? Have you started collecting them?
Mm-mm.
You should. They're addictive. I mean, you probably shouldn't, because, like, once you get one, you think that they look lonely by themselves. And then you're like, wait, I need the whole collection. And then it's like a very, very sad spiral of wasting money on toys that I'm never going to play with. But, yeah, that got depressing really quick. Shout out to Misha Houston.
Start collecting anything else.
Huh? What happened?
I said I can't start.
I mean, I have a little niece, and she came to my house the other day, and she was threatening to open them. She was like, "Uncle Ray, give me the yo-yo," and then she was like, "If you don't want me to play with the yo-yo, if you don't let me play with the yo-yo, I'll open your pop figures." And I was like, since when do the little kids tell the adults what they're gonna do? But that's a whole other thing. Shout out to Eduardo Blanco and everybody else who's in the chat. But man, first, I want to talk with Amelia about... Amelia, what did you think about the episode, the previous episode? Let's touch on some of these topics, and then we'll talk to everyone in the chat, you know, directly. So if I'm not paying attention to the chat right now, you know, I'll get to it in a minute. But what did you think, Amelia, about the previous episode, The Dragon and the Wolf?
I liked it.
That's it? That's all you're going to say? I liked it.
You know, sometimes it takes me a minute to gather my thoughts. Go first.
All right.
But it was a little slow. It was comical, but a little slow. I mean, I did like the reunions.
I mean, the reunions... We'll get to the specifics of the reunions, but I mean, overall, did you enjoy the episode?
Well, of course, I enjoyed the episode.
Like, what did you give the episode on a scale of 1 to 10? What was your rating for it?
It's gonna get a 9.5.
A 9.5? Like, I've seen this.
Yes.
I've seen this episode so many times. And it's crazy because I have a crazy amount of theories that I want to do. Like, I have so many theories that I want to do right now that it's, like, ridiculous. Like, I'm not sure how I should put them out. I legit have a notepad of, like, 15 videos that I want to do. Just off of after the season ended, I was like, bam, bam, I have this. So I have, like, a ton of videos that are going to be coming out soon. But, overall, man, I think that this episode was dope because we got to see all these characters come together. Like you said, there was a lot of reunions, and we might as well just go right into it, right? We might as well just go right into the goodness of this episode. And I know my face got yellow because I have a little notepad on my screen, and that's why I look like Mr. Pac-Man now. But all right, let's make this a little bit smaller here. All right, there we go. All right, so we have all these reunions in the Dragon Pit, all these new people meeting up that we've never seen together, and it was insane, right? We have Tyrion and Podrick, the Hound and Brienne, Jaime and Brienne, Tyrion and Cersei, the Hound and the Mountain. That's just reunions, and then we have first time meetups. We have everybody meeting Euron, and everybody knows how that went. Euron meeting everybody, Daenerys meeting Cersei, Jon meeting the Mountain, which when Jon met the Mountain or saw the Mountain, it looked like he just saw a dead man. Well, he kind of did see a dead man, because the Mountain is kind of in between. But yo, it was just like he looked like taken back by how big he was, especially since Kit Harington is so small. But that was a funny reunion there, and we also got to see Cersei meet Drogon. Out of all of these meetings and reunions, what did you think about them? Which one stuck out to you the most?
Well, there's the meeting of the White Walker and Cersei. That was funny.
I was going to put that one, but I was like, nah,
That was funny. But we can talk about that later. Enjoyed one. I really enjoyed Bronn and Tyrion, the Hound and Brienne.
Because there were different types of meetings. Like, some of them were pleasant, some of them weren't.
What's wrong?
No, I thought you were going to say something. Like, because I was talking.
No, those were the two that I really enjoyed. I mean, I can't pick just one, but I loved. A little nervous at first with Bronn and Tyrion. I'm like, is Bronn gonna go down? Or does Bronn not like Tyrion anymore? But then when Tyrion's like, remember what I say, I'll always pay double. And then they just sort of summed it up like long lost friends, like brothers, like they're still cool with each other. And I really liked that. And then I just like how I saw on Facebook how the Hound and Brienne are like two divorced parents, and they're both coming together over there and like bonding over their crazy child that now. I mean, I liked that.
I mean, to me it was funny because I went into the episode not expecting the whole Brienne and the Hound thing, but to me, and I honestly believe this is probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite 3 seconds of the whole episode, was that little awkward moment that Jaime looks at Brienne looks at Jaime, and then Cersei looks at. Yo, I was like, I've been in this position so many times in the past with like ex-girlfriends and stuff. Like, it's like you're at a party and your ex is there, but you're with your new girlfriend, and you're just like not trying to look anywhere because you don't want to get in trouble, you don't want her to say anything. So that's what I kind of got from Jaime. He was like, yo, I don't want any part of this. Like, I don't want this. I don't want these problems. So to me, it was just like, that was probably, if not my favorite scene in the entire episode. Like, that's how much I really liked that little, like, 2-second little clip. I really, really liked it because it kind of gave us so much with giving us so little. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they didn't have to say anything, And then that other look when Cersei walks off. And then Brienne is like, fuck loyalty, whatever. And then he's like, fuck loyalty. And then Cersei is looking at Jaime, and he's like, what do you want me to say? Like, what do you want me to tell her? Oh my God, that's like every guy's nightmare. Like, being stuck between two women who, you care about or you have a certain relationship with. And then, like, you have to choose, and they put you, oh my God, it's just like, I love that little love triangle thing that they have going on there. I really enjoyed it. But is anybody saying anything in the chat? I don't know. I'm kind of frozen up here on my other computer. Uh, yeah, my chat is frozen up over here. But
They're
another
just
one,
talking.
another one that I wanted to talk about was because my internet connection on my laptop kind of botched on me there. Another one that I really wanted to talk about was Tyrion and Cersei. We haven't, basically the last time they saw each other was when Tyrion was sentenced to die after the whole, trial by combat. Jaime let him go after that. To me, it was kind of funny and kind of insane to see the death stare that she gave. Lena Headey has perfected the death stare, in my opinion. Like,
Yeah.
she could give you that mean stank eye look. Like I will. Could you give me your best stank eye right now?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm not a if looks could kill kind of person.
Yeah, you're like, you don't have to.
I'm too great.
I mean,
Think about. Hold on. Let me think about something real quick.
yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. Like, I get the feeling that I did something wrong. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I got off of that. I did something wrong, and
One eyebrow goes up, and I'm just like, I'm too nice.
I mean, no, I could make a mean mug. Like when I want to. Like if I'm pissed or I need to, I can make a mean mug. But Lena Headey, man, like damn, like when she walks in and she just looks at Tyrion, I was like, oh man, if looks could kill, it was insane. Let's see what everybody in the chat says. BBM.
Tina said, Amelia, just that works. Really scared me the first time.
I mean, to be honest, I think that Lena Headey and maybe Alfie Allen are the best two actors on there. Like, I just love the way that they. So let's see. All right, so
my audio is off. Do you think I should try putting in my headphones?
Yeah, I think it might be a little bit better because I kind of do get some feedback.
Okay, hold on. On me, I think.
All right, so while Amelia returns, let me give you guys some of my thoughts. I have, like I said, some of my notes because it was insane here. Like Amelia brought up earlier, we have that moment with Brienne and the Hound, and to me it was insane because that moment between the Hound and Brienne kind of shows you that these characters have like so much time has passed and they've been through so much that they are like willing, because if you remember how they met, they were killing each other so quickly and how things escalated so quickly, and now you look at the Hound, how humbled he is, that Brienne was the one to beat him, and I don't know, I just really enjoyed that reunion. Also, we got a reference to Podrick's magic, you know what? I'm pretty sure it was either him or Tyrion, because we do know that in Essos they wanted to chop off Tyrion's you know what for because it has magical properties. But let's give some more shout outs in the chat. Let's see. Shout out to Game of Theories with Marie. Thanks for joining us, Marie, as always. SMH down or SM down. Let's see, Stacy Smith, Tina Sarah. I don't know. Sometimes my Spanish be kicking in. Peter Griffin, Big E, JW Flux, and everyone else who's joining us. Thanks for joining us. What like I wanted to see your opinion on this. Like me from a man's point of view. Like when women tend to be beefing, I like stick my head in the ground, right? I avoid it. And it looks like Cersei. Do you think that the Valonqar prophecy kind of has gotten into Cersei's head with the whole younger queen will cast you down thing? That she hates Daenerys so much? Because like her hate for Daenerys even kind of stuck out a little bit more to me than even Tyrion. Like, or was that me? Did you see something a little bit extra between her and Daenerys than like maybe with anybody else there?
If the audio is better at this point. I thought that she was just rude to her for the sake of being rude. I don't even know if it's, if the, a younger, more beautiful queen will cast you down. I don't even think that that is actually entered her head. I really think she thinks that that was Marjorie. Think that she was acting like a little bitty and she was rude. And then when she's like, like when she told Tyrion what a foreign
whore, yeah.
Whore, and a usurper. Like, really? She's not. She technically has a throne. But rude to her. But I don't know. What else do you expect from Cersei?
I mean, like, it was really, really funny to me. Like, the way that she was just like grilling her, like, you're late. And Lena Headey specifically does this thing, like, with her teeth. It's like, I'll bite you type. Like, I'm telling you, I love the way that she portrays Cersei. It's insane to me. We also got a little bit of Euron being Euron in the dragon pit. Everything is very tense, very high stakes. Everybody's on edge because they don't know how everything's going to... And then Euron does his Euron thing. What did you think about Euron in this episode? Because Euron... We'll get to what Cersei said about Euron going to Essos later, but him in the dragon pit, what did you think about Euron?
He looked like an idiot. I was embarrassed for him.
He acts like a fool.
Idiot. He did. Well, that, like, Cersei was like, yeah, sit down. I know they had their whole little plan, like, that's the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life, or whatever. Interrupting everybody, and, like, he looked like an idiot.
I mean, like, we see that the meeting starts, and then his first thing to say is, if you don't submit to me, Theon, I'll kill your sister. That's like, that shows you that this dude has nothing in his head. And to me, I really enjoyed the scene overall, right? With the whole dragon pit thing. But it really frustrated me. And we'll get to Tyrion later. But I just feel that Daenerys this whole plan of talking with Cersei is stupid. Like, you know what I mean? It's just a really, really dumb idea. She could have, like she said earlier, flown Drogon into the Red Keep, burn that shit down, and get results like that. She could have just killed them, and that's it. And it would have been done. But to me, it's just insane how because then we have her trying to get Jon to promise to not interfere between her and Daenerys once everything's done, the truce and whatnot. What did you think about Jon? Do you think that, one, Jon was wrong for not lying? Two, do you think that Cersei would have even done what she said she was going to do? Would she would have upheld her end of the bargain? Do you think that, like, what do you think would have happened there?
All of that was weird. First she's like, okay, we'll fight together if stays out of it. But already knowing that she has this plan with Euron about the Golden Company, right? So then, because Jon has vowed, had bent the knee to Dany, they're off. Like, does Jon and who he bends his knees to, does it really matter?
No, because
to just say, okay, we'll work together, but then just fast take that away when Jon, like, it was weird. Like,
I understand.
Not later and change your mind again.
I understand why she wanted Jon to do that, because she wanted Jon to stay out of it between her and Daenerys, so there would be no truce between Jon. The way that she was trying to basically set everything up was the truce would be between Cersei and Jon. So Jon would promise not to attack the Lannisters in any situation, right? But Cersei, deep down inside, is planning on attacking Daenerys somewhere down the line with the Golden Company. So that to me was what she wanted to do there. That's the way I saw it. You know, I don't know if anybody else saw it any other way, but she wanted Jon to stay neutral and not to interfere with the battle because she wanted to bring the Golden Company and not have a truce with Dany and probably help in the North, but try to, along the line, do Dany in as best she could. You know what I mean? Try to kill Dany off. But to me, it just made like no sense. Why are you negotiating with this woman? She has no people. Like, you burned a bunch of her men, her army. Like, you have her cornered into King's Landing. You could just burn her right there. And she did it to the Frey. She did it with the Freys against the Starks. Like, Jon should be like, I don't care. We're just gonna like do you in and that's it. Drogon was right there. The Mountain can do whatever the hell he wants. If they turn him ablaze, he's gonna die. I think that that's the way. And again, this falls on Tyrion. To me, this is all Tyrion's fault. I honestly believe that Tyrion has been very bad making decisions this season. It is not going to end up well in the next season. I think that that's going to hurt them because I personally was thinking, I was like, I don't think that the Golden Company will play that big of a hand in the upcoming season because I was like, why would the Iron Bank give Cersei money? But remember, who has the Iron Bank? I mean, who has the Golden Company in the books? It's Fagon, right? Young Griff. So I guess that maybe it seems like in the books, maybe Young Griff might, you know, bring something like that, or like what Cersei might bring in season 8 into the you know, the Battle for the Dawn, whatever. I don't know. I think that it's just a little bit like, I don't like giving Cersei a second life. Like, do her in. She's not that smart. Like, Cersei has never been that smart, and they're just making her seem like she's like the next coming of Tywin. And Cersei kind of threw me off in this episode a bit. But do you have any thoughts on the Dragon Pit in that meeting before we move on?
Is it Misha or Misha?
I say Misha, but
Houston?
Yeah.
What did she say? Where'd it go? I thought, this is what she said, I thought Cersei played that well. She got the truth out of Jon. Dany and Jon would have stabbed Cersei in the back, and she got it out of him. Very smart. And that is a good point. I just feel like truth out of Jon, she changed her mind a million times. That's about all of it. That's what I was like annoyed by.
I feel that
on that.
I feel that everybody has kind of pointed out that Daenerys might be the next Mad Queen. Oh, she might be going insane. She might be going insane. But guess what? The situation, this tradition, like normally she should have gone in and done what she's doing now. And let's talk. Bend the knee. You could go to Casterly Rock. You know, I'll let you guys live. I won't kill you or Jaime. You know, with Tyrion there, and she promises and cool. But yo, you are fighting for the world, basically. You are fighting some supernatural force, and you're telling me that you are caring about how people look at you at this point. You got to do what gets you results. I feel that Tyrion might betray, you know, Daenerys. We'll talk about it in a few, you know, parts now, but so let's move on to Winterfell. All right, let's move on to Winterfell. Wait, before we move on, let's see what everybody in the chat is saying, because you know I like to check on the chat, and sometimes recently I haven't been able to do so. So let's see. I agree with Marie. Marie says that yet Cersei is the one that stabbed them in the back. Cersei was never going to agree to anything with them. Like,
that's why she already had that. That's why it like annoys me. Is that she already had that plan. So why, in front of everybody, is she changing her mind a million times? Weird. I don't know. She's just annoying.
I mean, her and Euron sold that whole, because I saw the episode before coming live now. Her and Euron sold that whole argument and that whole him leaving thing so well. And they're like so disgusted, the Lannisters, with Euron, like, and they just sold it so well from the like as soon as they walk in, all right. As soon as they walk in, they sold that so well that they were like kind of like a dysfunctional group, Cersei and Euron, and then you find out what she's doing with the whole, you know, like we'll get to Cersei and Jaime a little bit more later, because you know we want to talk about maybe what's going to happen in the upcoming season and whatnot with Jaime and Cersei in a minute. But let's move on to Winterfell, right? All right. So
Okay.
in Winterfell, we did see that basically Sansa, Arya, Bran, and Littlefinger seem to be that they're on the same thing since maybe episode 3. Like, it seems like there's just a lot of lies, a lot of manipulation from Littlefinger. Littlefinger and Sansa seem to be like, I know that this is where this live stream is gonna take a left right now, because there was a deleted scene. Did you hear about the deleted scene, Amelia?
No.
All
No,
right.
it's probably the scene I want, but go ahead.
All right, so basically we saw in Winterfell opens up in this episode that Littlefinger is talking with Sansa. John bent the knee. He sent a letter to the North, telling Sansa, informing her that the North is pledged to Daenerys and they'll fight for her, right?
Good scene.
shout out to Famar K, my brother from another mother. What you call it? So we see that basically Littlefinger is
So you're just wait. Are you describing the deleted scene?
No. I'm recapping, and then I'm gonna put the deleted scene where it goes in between all of it. So we saw that Littlefinger is planting the seeds inside of Sansa's head about John bending the knee because he might be attracted, or he might be in love with Daenerys. He plants a seed about Arya wanting to be Lady of Winterfell and why she wants to kill her and whatnot. And basically, this happens. Then it seems like Sansa is believing everything that Littlefinger told her, right? In the article, it was the actor who portrays Bran. He says that Sansa goes to Bran basically before she kind of remembers. Oh wait, Bran could look back, could look and see everything that Littlefinger's done, and or like to see what's up, like get all this information before. And I quote, this is him. He said this before she guts her sister. And she was like, oh shit, after Bran tells her all of this. So basically after that was the deleted scene. So basically Bran tells Sansa everything that she needs to know about Littlefinger and about Arya and whatnot. He catches her up on the shit that she needed to know. And then we go to where, they execute Littlefinger, where they put him on trial, and basically Arya pulls off the sentence, whatever. And then they kill him. But in between there, Sansa was legit going to, in my belief, it looked like she was actually considering killing Arya because she was scared that Arya was going to kill her. Like, you know what I mean? So, what are your thoughts on that? Do you have any thoughts? What did you think about Winterfell this episode?
I'm still
Processing.
thinking about that deleted scene. Yeah.
I could go first if you want. I could.
Okay.
All right. So, look. To me, this is this to me is where it goes. It takes a sharp left with the whole Arya and Sansa thing, right? Now, what people don't understand is, yes, Arya is psychotic. I will never say that Arya is not psychotic. Arya is crazy. She is batshit crazy. She is damaged goods crazy. Arya will never live in a normal society, like in a normal type of life of someone who you know what I mean? She's just not that. She will never be a lady. That being said, Arya has learned and lived a certain life that kind of guides her. Just like how Sansa learned to be smarter through Littlefinger and Cersei. Again, I don't know. I really dislike Cersei's train of thought, but she learned from Cersei and she learned from Littlefinger. Just like that, Arya has learned from people, but Arya has learned from the Hound, from the Faceless Men, from Tywin Lannister, and from these people that are very cutthroat. I just find it funny how everybody gives a pass to Sansa, and when Sansa does something, she's just very smart and calculating. Yet when Arya is seeing something, because she sees that Sansa is not, because if you look at, if I went back and I saw, but the last two episodes. I saw episode 6 yesterday, and I saw episode 7 today. Basically, every time that Sansa and Arya come up, it comes up with the prefix, if you betray Jon. If you betray Jon. Every time that they bring it up. If Sansa betrays Jon, Arya will kill her. If Sansa betrays Jon, Arya will kill her. And it keeps coming up. That one little thing. She loves Jon more than she loves her. As long as Sansa doesn't mess with Jon, she will be alive. She won't get hurt. Like, you know what I mean? That's like the one thing that they're putting in front of everything. And yet people gloss over it to me like it's insane to me how people just overlook that. And then on top of that, like, I just feel that, like, what would Jon have done if Sansa kills Arya? Like what would have happened if Sansa gets scared of Arya and then ends up killing her? Because Littlefinger put it in her head. Like to me, that's, I'm not asking you, but I'm saying, because I know that there's a lot of different opinions in the chat, and while your answer, I'll be in the chat looking too. But do you have any thoughts now? Like it bothers me so much. Like, I could go on a rant on Sansa and Arya this season, but I won't. What are your thoughts, Amelia?
They just, apparently they came together to kill Littlefinger. I mean, obviously that's what happened. I don't think that there's a beef with them anymore.
I don't think there's a beef either. I just think that, like, I'm gonna ask you this though. Do you think that if Sansa were to try to depose Jon as king or as Warden of the North, do you think that Arya would kill Sansa?
Okay, you cut out. Can you say that again?
I said if Sansa were to try to depose Jon as Warden of the North or King in the North, do you think that Sansa would be in danger with Arya?
That's exactly, in not the last episode, but the episode before that, that's exactly what Arya wanted her to believe.
Yeah, because she's trying to scare her away from doing something stupid. I don't think that she was going to kill Sansa. I think she was trying to deter her from doing it. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of don't, put that across maybe the way I talk about this topic, but that's the way I've seen it. Like,
I don't know. But Arya, that is not a good way to manipulate someone, because we know that she kills people very easily. People that she doesn't like, that she has a beef with. So that's not. I mean, when that's something you do for your day job, you don't. Like, that's not also a tool in how to manipulate people. Because I mean, it looks like she really wanted to kill her sister.
I think that the way that Arya did it is a bit aggressive, but still a bit justified. Like, I think it's aggressive.
If I was Sansa, I would have gone to, like, every night in Winterfell asking for protection. Maybe I'm a wuss. I don't know. But
to me,
I would be so scared for my life. I mean, that I would probably just
look. Let's see in the chat. Hi, I'm Allison says, Rayz, but she won't though. Sansa is loyal to Jon and to her family. She knows that Jon is someone she can trust. We know that she can trust Jon. Sansa keeps showing, like, even in this previous episode when she's speaking with Littlefinger, it seems to me that, like, Sansa is upset that Jon isn't listening to her. Now, the question is, to me, in my opinion, is this enough to upset Sansa to betray Jon? Ever? Like, you know what I mean? I don't think that that's ever going to happen anymore because Littlefinger's not there. He was the one putting the seeds of doubt in her head since season 6 with the whole half-brother, bastard, born in the South and whatever. But, like, I don't know. I feel that things are fixed now, hopefully, from here on out. And the thing is, I really enjoy Sansa as, like, a character. I just don't like some of her traits. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if that makes any sense. Like, for example, when she told Arya, "You should be bent on your knees," that I won Winterfell back. Jon lost the Battle of the Bastards, and I won it. Does that seem like someone who's like on the same page as everyone? Like, I don't know. To me, that kind of gave me a vibe of like rebellion. You know what I mean? Like she's kind of like, eh. You know what I mean? Kind of like I don't know.
Our argument last week.
Yeah, like.
But clearly they're fine now.
Yeah, no, clearly.
How they did that, but they are, and they killed Littlefinger, and Littlefinger begged for his life. It's so funny to look and see how Littlefinger died, like, and begging, and then you look at my hero, Lady Olenna, who just, like, you know, swigs her poison like it's nothing. Like a champ.
Yo, when I saw Littlefinger crying like a little bitch, and I wasn't gonna say it, but that's the word. It has to be said. He was like, Sansa, please, and I'm like, yo, show some respect for yourself, bro. Like, come on, man. Like that was weak. That was weak. Like, after all the crazy ish that he stirred up, he's all like, oh please, Sansa, please don't.
Can we just talk alone? Really, you think at this point that that's gonna help?
I know, right? Like, to me, it was insane that he tried to use that one last power play. Like, I'm Lord Protector of the Vale. Escort me back to the area. And Jon Royce was like, nope, not gonna be able to do it. So, let's see. What do you guys think about Littlefinger? Let me know in the chat. What do you guys think about Littlefinger going out like that? I mean, to me, I thought he was gonna go out a little bit on top. I thought he was gonna have like an epic, but he just groveling like the little worm he was. Let's see.
It was pretty pathetic, but I mean, what do you expect? From him, but to not to beg. But just compared to Lady Olenna,
I mean, let me see. Hayam Allison says,
even Ned Stark. Ned Stark.
Ned Stark. What?
I mean, Ned Stark died. Like, he did it with he accepted his death with honor. Well, that he didn't do the things that he was convicted of.
I mean,
people like Littlefinger.
Like Ned.
I think that Varys would die better.
Yo, I have a video on Varys coming out soon, and I think of course we saw Melisandre said that he's gonna die in Westeros. I think that Arya is gonna kill Varys.
Why?
I'm just gonna put it here. I'm gonna put it out in the world here, and then you guys. I'll put my video out. I'm working on it. I'm still working a little here and there. If you recall, do you remember that scene with Ilaria Mopatis and Varys in the dungeon, like with the dragon skulls, and they're talking about the lion and the wolf, and they're gonna go to to battle, and like basically that they're gonna set up the Starks and Lannisters to fight. You don't remember that scene?
Is this season 1?
Yeah, that's in the first season.
Vaguely.
So basically, I think that scene and a couple of other things that I'm gonna put in the video. I don't want to give too much away, but like to me, I have a very strong inclination that Varys will got by Arya, even though he's not on the list. I don't know. I have a feeling about Varys because, for one, like the way I see it, Varys has been very bad this season, just with Tyrion. Like he's been horrible all season. Like he's just been like the worst spy master ever. Like they keep getting 1-ups on them, and it's like insane to me how easily they keep getting one on Daenerys. Like Dany keeps losing because of Tyrion and Varys. That's point blank period. Like to me, there's nothing else around that. But I'll have that video out hopefully this week. I'll see if I can have it. I'm telling you, I have like 16 videos that I have like ideas for.
Good. I'm glad that yeah, I'm glad for that.
Let me see. Let me see. All right. So now that we talked about Winterfell, let's move on to Cersei, and let's say just Cersei, and this is gonna be Cersei and Tyrion. This is gonna be Cersei and Jaime, and how things ended up. What did you think that Cersei and Tyrion talked about in their meeting? What do you think is in the cards for Jaime and Cersei? What do you think about all of everything Cersei in the upcoming season and in this season? How it ended for Cersei? What do you think about it? What are you expecting? What did you think about it? Do you have any thoughts on Cersei?
I liked that we saw Cersei cry, right? Showed, maybe it's because she's pregnant, but I don't know what it showed, and I don't think that they were fake tears. It's like maybe she's so frustrated and she would just kill everybody right now if she could. She knows that she can't. I don't know, but something went down in that room that we didn't see. Because I feel like that's not normally how the story is written, but something went down in that room that they didn't show us. And I don't know what kind of deal they made, but they made some sort of deal on it. I mean, I'm sure that we can sit here and eventually come up with 10 different theories, but
I've heard
something went down in that room.
Now, this is one thing that I wanted to talk about, because I know that there was a deleted scene. There was a deleted scene that Cersei had a miscarriage. There was supposed to be a scene this season where she had a miscarriage. I found that out after the season, aired, whatever. And they did not put that scene into the season. That being said, that means that either the baby has extreme importance to the upcoming season. You know what I mean? Like, the baby might be of importance. Also, I've seen a lot of people recently say that maybe Tyrion made a deal that Cersei's child would be the heir or would inherit the throne after Daenerys. I personally don't subscribe to that thought, because I think that Daenerys would want to choose whoever it was. It wouldn't be like, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't see that going down. Cersei would be like, I won't be queen, but my child. To me, that doesn't really make much sense. I've heard that theory a lot around, but I don't think that that's going to be the way that it goes down, because I just, don't see that in Cersei's character, that she's going to be like, okay, sure. Daenerys is going to gift my child the throne. You know what I mean? I just don't see that, especially since Cersei knows that pacts and deals are so, flaky in Westeros and so easily broken, that I just don't believe that, she would actually go through with it. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I know that there's a couple of people who have some theories on it in the chat. You guys could, highlight my name. Like, you put Rayz the Alba and you tell me what you guys think Tyrion and Daenerys. No, Tyrion and Cersei were talking about when he left. And we'll come back to that in the chat. So let me know what you guys think. What do you think the deal was between Tyrion and Cersei? I'll come back to that. And let's talk about Jaime and Cersei. Now, I'm super happy that Jaime and Cersei are done and over with, because that means that we might get some layers to this. You know what I mean? These characters, Brienne and Jaime and whatnot. What did you think about Jaime almost getting killed by the Mountain, or maybe not getting killed? Like, we knew she wasn't going to kill Jaime, but what did you think about that? Her threatening Jaime, her calling Jaime stupid, Jaime being like, out, deuces, I'm out, I'm not, I don't want to be a part of this. What did you think about that? Do you have any predictions for the next season?
I'm glad that Jaime away from her. I don't buy. Got so upset. Is going to hire the Golden Company and she doesn't really plan on helping them. And that he said, I made a promise and I made a vow. Like, all of a sudden, his honor got, like, stronger. And yeah, they both saw the White Walker. But glad that he finally left her. But he just left his pregnant she's pulled another one of her stunts. I just didn't buy the reason, but but like, you know, it's the reason that we have added something else in there to make him really angry, because he has stood by her and done things for her. There are so many like worse moments when he should have left her and he didn't. He doesn't want to go back on his word. Love her.
I mean, I think
like,
that
it was awkward.
Like, in my opinion, I think that it was just like the Brienne effect, like we might call it sometimes. You know what I mean? It's like him being around Brienne so much has kind of like him being around Brienne has kind of rubbed off the whole honor thing, and that, you know, he is a man with honor and he should carry himself as such, especially when it's something like everybody else is doing something honorable. Daenerys is doing something honorable. She's putting her ego and whatever she wants aside. So is Jon Snow, and everybody else is coming together. And then you're just you're with that one person who's like, fuck everybody. I don't want any of this. Like, I don't want to. That, I think, is what bothers Jamie. I don't think that it's like the whole that she's like, oh, you know, breaking my word. No, I think that he knows that a lot of innocent people are going to die if they don't come together, and he realized that. But Cersei doesn't. Cersei could care less. Cersei is like Littlefinger. She would prefer to be Queen of the Ashes if it meant that she could win. Like, you know what I mean? So I think that that's what Jamie sees in her. But let's see some of the comments in the chat. Game of Theories with Marie says, who is in charge of the Lannister forces, Jamie or Cersei? I believe that it is Jamie. I think Jamie has the forces. I think he's in charge of the Lannister army, because at the end of the day, he is acting Lord of Casterly Rock, right? Even though he's not there, Tommen sent him there, and he's not on the Kingsguard anymore. So, in my mind, I believe he's in charge of the Lannister forces. All right, let's see.
And I mean, I'm surprised that as a woman, Cersei wasn't like, I'm pregnant. You're going to leave, you're pregnant. Like, I don't know. It was just, but like I said, I'm glad that he left, but it was just what was written. And Marie's mentioned this, like, there's some poor writing, and maybe, I mean, I have to agree, compared to other seasons, you know, some of this stuff, I'm just not buying it, but it is what it is.
I mean, like, I see here, SM Down says, I think that she told him some BS and it was done there. I don't think that he promised her something that he couldn't have the power to give. Well, that's pertaining to Tyrion. I agree. I don't think that he has the power to be like, your baby will be the heir to the throne. Yeah, definitely not. Most definitely not. So I agree with you on that, SM Down. Let's see. Lola Dixie says, Cersei made a deal with Tyrion to kill Jon. I do not think that Tyrion could get that done, especially after the whole Daenerys and Jon, you know, getting together, I guess. I really doubt that would be able to go down. You know, my computer keeps freezing up. Sorry, everyone in the chat, if I can't see you. If you see anything, Amelia, in the chat, you could bring it up. Like, my computer keeps freezing up over here for some reason. Jesus.
Asked a question.
Who?
Lord Peter Baelish.
All right, hit me.
Back from the grave. What do you think about the rumors that George R. R. Martin is furious at D&D for butchering his story, and he says that he doesn't have time to watch Game of Thrones, but is promoting, I don't know what TOK is. The Lion King? Just kidding.
The Lion King. The way I see that, I think that he came out and he said that that's not true, that he does see it. I've read an article that he said that, you know, he basically, you know, Fame Arcade subscribed to the channel. Bro, what do you mean you subscribed to the channel? Before I answer that, Fame Arcade, I don't know why you're coming up on the screen. Like, Fame Arcade has been subscribed like for like a year and a half already or two. So that's weird.
Maybe he unsubscribed and then resubscribed so that you could see that.
I know, right? Ah, okay. The Last Kingdom on Netflix. That's what Peter Baelish said. I mean, I personally do not believe that George is not watching the show. I believe that George is learning, and he is 100% benefiting from what D&D are doing with the show, because he is seeing exactly what works and what doesn't, and he sees the repercussions of how certain characters work out and what doesn't work out. And again, like, I know I get a lot of, I know I must make a lot of people mad when I go at George, but bro, George R. Martin cannot, George R. Martin is like the slowest thing out there. He's slower than honey. Like, he is so slow writing. And he has to put his priorities. Like, he's either going to be on the show or he's going to be in the books. But I just don't see a scenario in where he has the backbone to be like, oh, you're ruining the show. Like, you're not working on it. Why not work on the show then? At least get one of these things done right, instead of, like, you know what I mean, being in the background and then giving out like an opinion, like, oh, this isn't what I would do, this isn't how I would do it. Like, just do what you're gonna do. Write your stuff and get it done with. Like, that's at the end of the day what he has to do. Like, I understand you can't rush perfection, but at the end of the day, we're all living on borrowed time. Like, we are all like Barry said it best, death is the enemy always wins. He is not on the younger side of life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, bro, get shit done. If you don't want people to finish your story for you, finish it yourself. At the end of the day, that's the truth. It sounds horrible, it sounds harsh, but that's reality. I'm never gonna back down from that. Like, do you agree or do you disagree? What are your thoughts, Amelia? Because it really.
What if he's finished with the books? What if he's already written all of them and he's just trolling us?
But like, I see here, Game of Theories with Marie says, George R. Martin has written Wild Cards, Fire and Blood, as we still wait for wins. Why the hell are you writing Fire and Blood when we know a bunch of the Targaryen story? Get done with the main story before you start building on the world, like world building. Like, I just don't see it. Like, and you know what's upsetting? Like, this is something I wanted to talk about. I'm gonna do a video on it because it's gonna be like a rant. I honestly believe it's gonna be a rant. And I want to know what you guys in the chat think, and I want to know what Amelia thinks about this. Game of Thrones is the worst name for this show possible that they could have put on it. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Game of Thrones, to me, takes away from what the real story is about. The real story and the books are called A Song of Ice and Fire, right? Game of Thrones and A Song of Ice and Fire cannot be so further apart from the same topic. Like, everybody forgets what the books are about, what the real story, because that's the real story, A Song of Ice and Fire. What do you believe A Song of Ice and Fire is? Either you believe it's Jon and Dany, just Jon Snow and the union of Rhaegar and Lyanna, the White Walkers and the dragon, the living and the dead, whatever you want to make it, it's ice and fire. And when you put Game of Thrones behind it, it gives it like this, like, narrative, like it's just because they're just fighting over the throne, and that's not what the story's about. So I'm gonna make a video on it and, you know, just expressing my thoughts on it, but that's just me. Do you have any thoughts on that, Amelia?
What do you think it's A Song of Ice and Fire?
Yeah, I mean, something. They should have came up with something not so specific. I mean, it's a good.
All right.
Thank you, Marie, for the super chat donation. Thanks again. Thank you so much for the support, Marie. I think that they should have put a name a little bit more neutral to the story and the characters in Game of Thrones. That's like if they would have put A Clash of Kings as the show. You know what I mean? As the show, A Clash of Kings, A Storm of Swords, A Feast for Crows, A Dance with Dragons. Like, these books are they have just specific events that's why they name the books after them. You know what I mean? And then when you put just Game of Thrones on it, it to me kind of singles in on one aspect of the story and not what the real story is about. And I don't know. That's just me. Like, I don't know. That's the way
No,
I've
but
thought
you know,
about it.
a game. I think that a Game of Thrones, though, it's the first book in the series, so that's a good reason to choose it, and it's possibly more appealing to people. Um, when they hear a Game of Thrones, a show called A Game of Thrones, you can wrap your head around that, versus a show called A Song of Ice and Fire. You can't wrap your head around that as easily, I don't think, like from a marketing standpoint.
I
But
think it doesn't have to be a Song of Ice and Fire. It could be Ice and Fire. It could have been, I don't know, anything. Like, and I'm not
but
saying
I
the Game
think
of
that
Thrones.
the game.
I'm not saying that Game of Thrones necessarily is a bad name, because it's the better of the options that they had besides the Song of Ice and Fire, right? But I feel that when you put a Game of Thrones, it kind of makes you it makes normal, like, people who are, because again, a lot of us have to remember that everyone in this community who watches Game of Thrones and comes on YouTube to talk about it, and everyone in the chat, we are super knowledgeable next to like common people who view the show and just, like, you know, don't go on YouTube, don't read forums. Like, I don't read Reddit, but I know that there's another level to everything that we do and see, you know what I mean? So, like, to me, when you just put a Game of Thrones on it, yes, it is a good name for the series. I do like it. It's a good name, don't get me wrong. But I feel that it kind of just takes away from what maybe George wanted the story to be about. Because, like, did you ever hear that George, when they started filming the series, he was like, the end game is to make Jon and Dany meet? That was like one of his end game things. Like, he wanted Jon and Dany to meet. That's like what the whole story is really building up to. And then you have Game of Thrones, and it kind of, oh, everybody's squabbling over the throne instead of focusing on Jon and Dany and why they have to meet, what that brings, what does that, what do they have to go up against? Like, that's what I feel is. But then again, that's just me. Again, like, you know what I mean? That's just me.
But it's still, even in season 7, the throne. I mean, so the title still works. And, I mean, that throne has had more kings and now a queen on it than, it's like musical chairs. And, you know, they're still arguing over the throne. So it works
Yeah.
throughout the entire series. But no, it isn't history of it. I think that's the Game of Thrones. But to people who, there are people who just watch TV and they just watch the show. Like, I have friends who Thrones, but then when you really explain the nuances to them, subtleties, the foreshadowing, like, that is, and most people don't get it. And I think that George probably knows that. I don't even know if I'm making sense.
No,
but
I'm sorry to cut you off, but have you ever had a friend, or do you know someone who calls Daenerys Khaleesi? The Khaleesi, and we're still in season 7. To me, that, yo, like, you know what I mean? Like, not that I have anything against, but it just drives me crazy when I hear that. Like, I don't know why it triggers me.
well, you know, my best friend Jamie, who, like, became a super fan, like, so fast.
Yeah.
Like, she set records. She got a new puppy and named her Khaleesi. Like, when it was 2 months ago, maybe 2 months tops, she started watching Game of Thrones, right? She's already reading the books now. And then she got a puppy and named her Khaleesi. Like, that girl is hooked.
I mean, when I hear people like, oh, the Khaleesi, oh yeah, I love the Khaleesi, oh, I love Khaleesi, I'm like, oh man, like, you know what I mean? It's like, and yo, imagine me talking to people. Like, I remember a couple of months ago, I was talking with this woman, and I was explaining to her the Tower of Joy, because she saw the Tower of Joy, and she didn't even pick up that Jon Snow was the baby. Like it just like went over her head. And then I'm like, oh yeah, Daenerys' brother is the dad, and she was like wow. She looked at me like I was crazy. Like wow, that's a lot. Yeah, I probably have to rewatch it.
And that's another reason why I think Game of Thrones works, because Ice and Fire, too many people aren't going to get that stand. Remember when we first met, almost 2 years ago now, and I said, if you spell Jon Snow, it's the same, 3 letters for ice, 3 letters for Jon, and then same with fire and snow. Like, people don't think like that so that they named it Game of Thrones because it works for the mainstream, because fire would just go over people's heads.
Yeah.
They wouldn't get it.
I mean, I agree with that. But like I said, I'll probably have like a rant one day, like on my channel. So let's move on from Cersei, and let's move on to the whole Ice and Fire of it all. We see that Sam and Bran were talking about basically Jon's parentage, and we see in the episode was titled "The Dragon and the Wolf," which also comes in play with the whole Ice and Fire thing of it all. And we see that Jon and Dany come together, and there's a lot of stuff in all of this, right? What did you think about Bran and Sam putting everything together and piecing everything together? Did you think that it was dope? Did you enjoy it? What did you think about it?
Anytime Sam's around, I'm gonna enjoy it. Just sort of him with this like Bran, and then Sam is so like, oh, I don't know, Sam's so endearing. I mean, he can do no wrong. The contrast between the two of them, but yet the brain power that you have in one room, it's just awesome. It's like you have Sam who's like Wikipedia, like meeting Google, and they just together one.
I mean,
he's like, is that something that you can see?
I mean, I agree.
As a matter of fact, it is.
Like, it's funny because Bran has all this information, but Sam has to basically fish it out of him, like point him, like, oh look, this is where you probably might need to go. What did you think about the Rhaegar casting and the Rhaegar scene, the marriage? Do you have any thoughts on that? Did you like Rhaegar? Did you not like him? Did you think that they cast him well? Did you think that they didn't do a good job? What did you think about Rhaegar?
Okay. Okay, let's talk about Rhaegar. All right, so I'm going to put my phone down for a second. So, put my phone down.
Yo, you know. That's how you know she's going to go in.
I'm not even looking at chat. I'm so glad we got a vision, right? But Rhaegar, and I know that the two actors look nothing alike, but they looked way too similar. Rhaegar looked way too much like, isn't that how you pronounce his name, Viserys?
Yeah, Viserys.
I'm so southern that it's like, it doesn't even sound right when you hear it like on the show, and then you hear it out of my mouth and it sounds like a hick. Okay, so they looked way too much alike. I mean, Rhaegar, okay, you see the illustration of Rhaegar that is everywhere, and his head's sort of tilted, and he has the longer hair, and it's in a braid, and he's very handsome, right? Like, he's hot. Looks nothing like him. And the profile of this actor, and then the profile of they just look too similar. And then his hairstyle was the same. Like, could you not have at least given this actor, like Rhaegar, longer hair and given him the braid? Oh no, it had to be like cut like a bob and then pulled back into two, like, little pieces in the back. And then I thought to myself, okay, well, maybe that's why Viserys wore his hair like that, because he was trying to mimic his older brother. They should have done the hair differently. He looked way too much like him. He was not handsome. I put it on my Facebook. So many people were confused by that scene because so many people thought it was the same actor.
I mean, I don't think they look alike.
What?
I don't think they look alike. I didn't really see it that way. Like, I think that he had the same hairdo, but I don't think they look alike. Like there's one photo he looks like John Cena, and then another one he looks like I don't know who. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like weird. Like, cause Kyle did a video before it even came out, that, you know, before we even saw the scene, that they casted Wolf Scolding as Rhaegar, and I was like, maybe this guy might look like Rhaegar. If it's true, who they originally wanted to cast as Rhaegar, it was Charlie Hunnam. You know who that is?
Oh,
that dude.
Yeah, I know who that is. And dude, I've watched all of Sons of Anarchy. Like, he is so fine.
I imagine Rhaegar like that dude.
Do you watch Vikings?
Yeah, haven't seen Vikings, no.
Well, the actor on Vikings looks so much like Charlie Hunnam. But Charlie Hunnam would have been amazing. That is a man that you'd run away from Winterfell, leave your betrothed, and get knocked up by right there is Charlie Hunnam, for sure.
I mean, I don't know. I think that if they would have put Charlie Hunnam, the only thing is he has to sing. Like, this is the thing about...
He has to sing.
Like the thing about Rhaegar is, since Game of Thrones is basically point of views, and from what people see and how people take in other characters and events, it's so difficult to like put your finger on who and what these characters are and how they are, right? You look at Rhaegar, or the Rhaegar that they cast, and he doesn't look, to me, how everybody described Rhaegar. He doesn't give me the vibe of warrior that I got. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, Rhaegar didn't like fighting, but he was a good warrior. You know what I mean? Kit Harington is small, but Kit Harington walks like I could kick some ass. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I could beat someone up. You don't get that vibe from that little wedding. Like, it just, I don't know. It just doesn't. There was something off about it, and I just was like, what the hell is happening? Like, I don't know. It was something I didn't buy.
I was also, like, I think this SM Down said this too, like, the person, like, Lyanna, I don't think that she, and I hate to say this, but I don't think that she was a really attractive person, the actress, to play that role. Rhaegar looked way too much like Viserys for my taste. So I'm glad that we got the vision, but it was like, and I don't know, and how they're doing the voiceover, and then they're cutting to Jon and Dany. Like, I watched the, like, after the show, like, Dan and Dave talk, and I mean, I kind of can understand where they're going, like, with their thought process, but still at the same time, I'm like, no, let me have, like, these two separate moments. Like, I'm smart enough to get that I'm watching this and that they're doing that. You don't need to, like, give them at the same time, but whatever.
I mean, again, we go back to the common viewer, like, people who just watch the show and don't come online and don't know theories and don't like communicate and exchange these thoughts with other people. For them, it might be a little bit harder to understand what's happening. You know what I mean? But to me, it was just funny how it was like they're talking about he never was a bastard, and then he's just like, Jon is like on top of Dany, and then they're like, he's the heir to the Iron Throne, and he's just like, wow, back in. I'm like, bro, why do you do that? Like, why do you? The way that they made it, it's like he thrust, like he's the heir to the Iron Throne. Yeah. Thrust. I was like, yo, what's wrong with these people? Yeah. It was
right.
It was, I don't know. One thing that I really liked, I'm not sure if you picked up on this. It happened in 2 episodes, right? in episode 6, when Jon returns to the wall and they show the boat, the Targaryen boat, the sails have like 2 Targaryen flags, right? Or not flags, the sails.
Mm-hmm.
You see 2 Targaryen
Mm-hmm.
sigils, and then and then in this episode when they show us like from afar, like you see the boat, whatever. We see that the boat only, and you only see one of the sails, like one. So to me, I was like, is that like them trying to show us that like they're just one cause now, like one person? I don't know, but I kind of picked up on that. I was like, that might be something.
Maybe it's a different boat.
No, you could tell it has like another sail. It's just like the way that they filmed it from up
Oh.
front. You only see just like one sail. So
Oh.
I was like, that's pretty dope. I was like, that's interesting to see that.
And you know what else I was upset about? That we
What?
didn't get to see them kiss.
Who?
Like, okay, so Jon knocks on the door. It's clearly a booty call. Dany answers it. As Dany always, she's very accepting of, bed warmth. But then they close the door, and the next thing you see are 2 naked people on a bed. Like, I would have liked to have seen them kiss as the door closes. Like, let's have a first kiss that then led into this, so it looks less like a booty call. Because then the next thing you see, just these 2 people go. I mean, like, it was. I expected more from Jon than that. Like, I expected for Jon, the character, to say, no, we have to kiss first.
You
What we're
expected
doing.
you expected Cave John, like
Right,
with Ingrid.
like let's show the audience that we kiss first, and then moved into that. But I don't know. I wanted them to have, and I also thought that they should have had their first kiss. I would have liked a first kiss like the episode before when he's, laying in bed trying to get warm. But I guess they wanted to save all of it for the finale.
I just feel like the show is doing this mistake of building payoffs, like building these things to be paid off instead of just telling the story as goes, right? Like, you remember in season 4, it was episode 2 of season 4 that Joffrey dies. That could have been a season-ending thing, right? But no, they set it up so that, like, you know what I mean? Joffrey dies in episode 2. Nobody was expecting Joffrey to die in episode. Like, if you don't watch the show, you weren't expecting Joffrey to die in episode 2. I mean, if you weren't reading the books, you didn't expect it. So to me, like, that's one of those things that I feel that the show has been doing recently. Now, I have a question for you before we move on to Tyrion. What do you think about Jon and Dany? Do you think that they are an item? Like, do you think they'll because we've been beat over the head all season about Daenerys not having children. She can't have children. The dragons are the only children she'll ever have. Even in this episode, Jon says that, you can't. Do you think that the witch was a reliable source of information and all of that? We're hit over the head with it continuously. Do you think that Daenerys will be pregnant next season? 2,
Yes, I think so.
Do you think that they'll marry? 2, do you think that they'll marry? And 3, do you think that if they don't marry, do you think that they will, once they find out about Jon's parentage and his origin, do you think that they'll have any clash or any issue of that? Any real issue?
I think that she will. I think that she will be pregnant. I think that they will have intentions to get married. I think that he will find out the truth about his parents. And I don't know that that will stop a marriage, but I don't think that one or both of them will be there to be able to get married.
I mean, I think that, like, the way that I see it, I think you remember that scene that Jon was telling Sam why he never had sex, like why he never had any relationship with Roz, or why he never, had any intercourse with her and whatnot. The way that I see it, there's like a bus that passes right by my building, and it's loud as all hell. Sorry about that. I don't believe that Jon would let his child be born out of wedlock. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not being married, because it technically would be a bastard. and Jon never wanted to even have sex because he didn't want a bastard. So I honestly do believe that they will get married in the upcoming season, because if it comes down to it and one of them dies, they need to be married so that the son isn't a bastard. Now, or their child, daughter, son, whatever it may be. Now, one thing with me is, and we'll get to the season 8 predictions in a minute, but let's move on to Tyrion, because I think that Dany and Jon is very end game talk, so we'll make some of our way too early predictions.
Can I say something though? I didn't think about that, and I really like that you brought up that point, because you may have now changed my mind. I'm gonna have to reassess this.
You're like, you know what? That's a good point.
That is a very good point. I forgot about that.
I mean, yeah.
He's gonna make her marry him.
I like Marie. Game of Theories of Marie says, how can Dany have a baby in 6 episodes? It doesn't make sense time wise. I totally agree. That's why I think that Jon will die. But again, we'll get to the predictions. We'll get to the end of the series predictions. We'll get to it. All right. So let's move on to Tyrion, because Tyrion was all over the place in this episode. To me, Tyrion was just like, ugh. And this little move that Tyrion did right here with the, being outside the door and creeping, to me, that it was all types of wrong. It was just like all weird and stuff. Like, I don't know, man. Tyrion has taken a real serious hit this season. Like, his character, who he is. What did you think about Tyrion standing outside the door? Because I know we had a fun conversation about this in our private chat.
Yeah.
But what did you think about Tyrion?
I'm so very confused by it. I don't think that I mean, I disagree with you. Do you want to tell people what you think, because so that I can then disagree with you?
Of course, I will always go first so that you could disagree with me. All right. So this is my stance on Jon Snow. I mean on Tyrion. I mean, Tyrion is in love with Daenerys. 100%. No doubt in my mind, he is in love with Daenerys. Now, I'm going to tell you guys why. Before the season started, the actor who portrays Tyrion, Peter Dinklage, had said something along the lines that Tyrion is very smitten with his employer, and that, it's kind of like he might have caught feelings for Daenerys while he's working for her, which is something that we've all seen that happens with Daenerys. Everybody who's around Daenerys falls for her. She's very, attractive. She has this thing about her. So that for one. 2, when you look at every relationship that Tyrion has seen Daenerys in, he has kind of tried to end that relationship. You haven't noticed that? Jorah, yeah, you should exile him. He shouldn't go with you to Westeros. Dario, yeah, he should stay. And now Jon Snow. Now, I understand the political part of it all, that, maybe it's not good for business if like, let's say, for example, Dany and Jon are messing around and whatnot, but how much could it hurt? You know what I mean? I really don't think that it's that much of a danger. Jon is a good person. Tyrion knows that Jon is a good guy, but we see that Daenerys now isn't listening to Tyrion because Tyrion keeps failing. We see that she doesn't listen to Jorah. She takes Jon's advice. So I think that there is an aspect of jealousy in this all. It might be that, yeah, right, Tyrion wants her to listen to him, but I do think that there is, and I really, really believe that there is jealousy from Tyrion and Jorah towards Jon. Because at the end of the day, Jon is young. Jon is on par with Daenerys. They're both rulers. They like each other. They could get it on. They are on their age, whatever. They like each other. It is what it is. I just think that Tyrion has some jealousy there, but that's just me. I'll let you roll. Careful, Amelia. You have a humongous beast behind you.
I know. I switched while you were talking. The sun. I was sitting in front of the window, and now the sun's set, so I look really dark. So I had to switch it, so it's still dark.
Look like a lion. Not like a lion, but
she is adorable.
She is humongous.
That is my baby.
That cat.
She's not humongous.
She looks huge. She looks like very fit.
She's like a dire wolf to a cat.
Look at her. Oh man, I'm telling you. All right, tell me about Tyrion. What do you think about Tyrion?
Okay, I don't think that he's in love with her. he might care for her, but he is not in love with her like Jorah. And in episode 6, was it 6? He sat there and he put in her head that, I mean, he's the one that planted that seed in Dany's head about Jon being attracted. I'm not going to say in love, but being attracted to Dany.
Said in love. Tyrion said that he was in love.
Did he say in love? Okay, yeah. Fine. Well, I'm not going to claim that Jon is in love with her, but he's the one that put that seed in her head. And you do not, like, Tyrion has been around enough to know that you do not put that in a woman's head. You don't say that to a woman and not think that it's going to do something. So I don't think that he is in love with her. And I don't, you were like, oh, it looked like a little finger, like a creepy little finger, Sansa. Like sort of stare. Yeah, like little finger to Sansa stare. And I watched it again and I didn't see that. I can't tell, I can't get a reading off of his face, but I don't think that it was a little finger stare. If anything, it, like, all I saw was like, this is a bad decision. But it was like, the stare was more than that. And I don't know, like, I can't put my finger on it. I really don't know why in the hell, like, why was he creeping? Like, why? That's why I think that something went down in that room with Dany. With Tyrion and Cersei. Because for them to, like, give us this Rhaegar and Lyanna getting married at the same time that we're watching Jon and Dany go at it. And then they're going to throw in Tyrion creeping in the background, like, to ruin it even more than it already was. They give us Tyrion creeping outside the door. Like, why? I mean, obviously it has to mean something. And I don't think that it's about him being in love with her. I guess I would like to think he just is thinking this is a bad idea. But I really think that look has something to do with what we didn't see between him and Cersei. I have no other, I mean, I don't know. I haven't theory crafted anything yet, but that is as far as I've connected my dots.
I just honestly believe, because I see here that, what you call it, Jim O'Donnell says that, Jeremy Podesta said something along the lines that Tyrion was not in love with Daenerys. Of course they wouldn't tell you that because they wanted to come out of nowhere. Like, yo, it's funny to me how people sometimes, I would take more at face value something that one of the actors tells me than something that one of the producers or the directors, because they're guiding you where they want you to go. The actors are just telling you how they interpret it. I don't feel that the producers or showrunners, like, look at how I'm gonna put an even better example for you guys. What you call it? I'm gonna put this example for you guys. Everybody was saying that it wasn't a trap. The Night King wasn't a trap. It wasn't a trap because the producers said that the Night King seized the opportunity. Bro, that was a trap. That shit was that was a trap if I've ever seen one. And to me, when the producers say that it wasn't a trap. Right? They say, no, it wasn't a trap. It was just, he seized the opportunity. Like, bro. And then that's the only way that he can knock the wall down. That we see, like, why didn't he knock it down some other way? He needed that dragon. He wasn't going to go anywhere without that dragon. And he was waiting for it. But it's funny to me. Don't believe the producers. The producers know exactly where they want to guide you. SM Down says, actors learn to lie for a living. Are they more trustworthy? I know a bunch of actors. Yes. But when they're talking about their projects, when they're talking about how they interpret a character or a role, they give it to you how they interpret things are. Like, you know what I mean? But when it's somebody who's, like, producing, I would imagine that they, like, tell you, look, this is how... They want you to go through certain levels of emotion or thinking. I honestly think that he has the hots for her. And why? like to me, it's odd how people are giving Tyrion the benefit of the doubt. Though, remember, this is the guy who opened up the first time we saw him at a brothel. Like that's how we're introduced to Tyrion. Like, and to me, everybody just forgot that. Like, come on, man. Like, I mean, to me, it is insane. What, you guys can't hear me? Is that it? Like, all right, wait. Let me see exactly what's happening with my audio.
I don't know. Can they not hear you?
It's funny because like I have the mic like legit in front of me. Like, all right, wait. Let me move this over here. Bam. Winning. Oh snap. There we go. All right. So, do you guys hear me there? Do you hear me? No. Let me know. Let me know in the chat. All right, so let's move on to since we're talking about the wall. Let's move on to the wall, and then we'll make some of our season 8 predictions. This was insane. I wasn't expecting all of this when we got it. The wall, the ice dragon. I thought that the wall would come down. We only got a piece of the wall coming down, which is interesting. It'll be interesting to see what purpose the wall has in the future after season 8. You know what I mean? But what did you think about the wall and the White Walkers passing by, knocking it down, and all that?
I really would like. Why did it have to be Eastwatch? Well, first off, I liked that the view of Eastwatch. Like, I was like, well, I guess they can't walk around because the wall like protrudes into the sea, and the sea isn't frozen over. But I really wish that it was Castle Black, because that's just always how I've envisioned it.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
I kind of wanted to see Castle Black as well. I thought that it would be Castle Black, but I mean, I guess Dolores Ed gets to live for another episode or 2. I don't know.
But I mean, and let's take a poll in the chat. Do you all think that Tormund lived? Because I'm telling myself that he did, that he was far enough on the other side of the wall, that he lived. Because it is unclear. It's unclear. But I'm telling myself that he lived because we didn't see him die, right? That's the rule. We didn't see him die, so he has to be alive. Plus, you can't give me the scene with Tormund wanting to have babies with Brienne and then just kill him the next episode. Like, you can't do that. So,
can't they though? Can't they?
No, they can't. I do. I love Tormund.
These are the people who gave us. They're gonna name Rob's son Little Eddard, and then clack clack clack. Oh my God! It's the most violent thing I've ever seen.
So I don't like how the dragon had holes in its wings.
It's rotting. It's dead.
But do these dead things continue to rot, or do they just, from the moment that he brings them back, that's how they stay?
No, they rot.
Or do they just...
They continue to rot.
They rot. They continue to rot.
The only thing is, I think that...
because some look... some look more alive than others. Yeah, I just thought, well, maybe...
But what I think is that since they die in the north and it's always cold, they preserved better than like, let's say if they were in King's Landing over the last 8 years. They probably would have all been skeletons if they were in King's Landing. You know what I mean? But yeah. I think that the reasoning is because it's cold and it preserves the dead bodies, and that's why, like, it kind of fits more with the whole dead thing. You don't see that the whole ice white thing. Beric is rotting. And he's made out of he's not one of those whites, but he's kind of rotting. George R. R. Martin said in the books. So it's interesting there.
But Okay, so then he's rotting. But then how can he fly with holes in his wings?
Who?
I guess we're just supposed to
I mean,
Viserion.
yeah, I guess this is one of those like don't ask, don't tell type thing. I mean, I don't think that
Yeah.
those holes are big enough to deter him from flying. But I don't know what the hell was up with that though. He was like on them roids or something. He was yoked. He was just woof woof back and forth. It
And
was insane.
do you think that blue is fire or it's ice? They didn't after like post show they didn't confirm.
I don't think that that's
And
fire. I mean, if it were fire, I don't think it would have that effect that it had on the wall because that blew the wall up. It wasn't like a. And yes, we saw fire blow up the carts and stuff and whatnot when Danny blew like because they use
well, but
explosives.
you saw fire when she saved them off of their little, iceberg island. And it did blow chunks, but I can't tell if it's ice or if it's fire. But let me tell you one thing.
All right.
If that's ice coming out of that dragon's mouth, everybody south of that wall is
It's funny how it just muted
they're
when
in
you
for
said
it.
it.
I muted myself.
Oh, I was like, oh
Yeah.
wow, the audio went out right there. I was like,
No.
it sounded too.
No,
perfect.
I just mouthed it. Because you see what his ice spear did to Viserion. And if that's ice coming out of that dragon's mouth is anything like the ice spear, there is no hope for anybody. So we better pray that it's fire, because if that's deadly ice, like if again, they're done. Flames.
I
But
mean, I see in the chat.
then they can just blow fire at each other.
In the chat, the Fox 28 says it's fire. Of course I think it's fire because he's a fire breathing dragon before, and yes I do know that fire when you see the blue fire, especially like on those blow torches when they're wielding, it kind of it's the hottest I believe I heard. So I
Yeah,
know that.
blue is hotter, but I honestly don't know if they were going for blue because it's hotter or blue because it's now
Yeah, just
the ice, the Night
differentiate.
Kings. Yeah, because his eyes are blue now, so his fire is going to be blue. I mean, if it was if it was blue, true blue fire, which is yes the hottest fire, was coming out of that dragon's mouth, he did not need to go at that wall as many times as he did. I'll say that. I think it's just blue because that's sort of the Night King's color scheme.
His whole power thing. Yo, I ordered a
Yeah.
pop figure of the Night King on top of Viserion.
So somebody else asked, like, how does ice melt an ice wall? But you didn't really see it melt. You saw, and if you go back, like George R. R. Martin has, there's an ice dragon in that children's book that he wrote, and it breathes ice, but the ice is so, like, the force of the ice is so powerful that it would destroy and just like you were blowing chunks out of the ice wall. That's how if he's blowing ice, that's how I would assume he took the wall down, is that the force of his ice breath was so strong that it just knocked chunks out of the wall until it fell down.
What'd you call it? Big E says the Night King gathered all 7 Dragon Balls and summoned Viserion to blow up part of the wall. Do you see Dragon Ball Z? Have you ever seen it?
No. My kid watches it, but...
Never seen Dragon Ball Z? Wow. Where's my little shame bell? Like, you get the point. Shame. What you call it? It's awesome.
Yeah, you haven't had that bell all year.
I mean, oh shit, wait, I think... Yeah, it's not there. I had a, like, little stash, you know what I mean? But, yeah, it's not there anymore. But I don't know. I think that there is something weird about that fire. Hopefully we see something about it in the upcoming season. But That being said, I think we pretty much touched and talked about everything. So I wanted to see some of your thoughts or predictions for the upcoming season.
Well, I don't have any. Except I think Danny's going to be pregnant. I do like your theory about them getting married so that it's not born a bastard. Whether that child has both parents around when it's born will remain to be seen. I don't know. If the dragon is in fact breathing ice, and it's anything like the ice spear that the said dragon died with, then the Night King has already won the war. Sadly. But we'll have to get back to that because we need confirmation on whether that was fire or ice. And I honestly don't have any other predictions because you weren't really left like we were in season 5, with Jon's death. You weren't left with anything like that. I mean, we know that the war is here.
Because at the end of the day, you say you don't have predictions, but this is the last season, so you have to have some sort of thought. Or all right, how would you want it to end? Just you. How would you want it to end? I'll answer. I have my
probably too happily for it to actually happen.
All right, but put it out there.
Right. I don't know.
So you want to think about it and then I'll come back to you?
I want to know in season 8 a hell of a lot more about the Night King. I want to learn a lot more about him. I think that we deserve that. I think the story deserves that. And I don't want Jon to die, but I think he will.
I mean, this is the Cliff Note version of how I think it'll end for certain characters. One, I think Jon Snow is going to die. And I think that Jon Snow is going to die. Or I would want because I do think that it's unrealistic at this point that we will get both Jon and Dany have a happy ending. I want it. I don't think it's going to happen.
I think that, if the only happy ending is going to be, if they have a child, that child is the happy ending.
Because the thing is, look, I think that everybody will get what they want by the end of the story. Or at least the main characters, right? I think that Daenerys will get to rule and be queen. And the only reason I think that she will possibly, because I'm on the fence with it. It could go either way. The House of the Undying has me going that she might die, right? Maybe even in childbirth or something. Because she will be reunited with Drogo after her womb quickens, right? After she can have a kid. So I think that it'll be after, she gives birth, possibly she might die. But I definitely think that Jon will die. Because Jon in a Game of Thrones, when we meet Jon always looks up to the hero. You know what I mean? The hero, and he wants to be we see how he looks at Jaime Lannister and how he looks at Robert Baratheon, right? We hear he kind of looks down at Robert, this is Robert Baratheon, the dude I've heard so much of. So I think that Jon Snow, even though he's matured to a point that he doesn't see the world like that anymore, he will be a person that songs are sought or singed about. You know what I mean? He will be in the songs, and that's what I think the Song of Ice and Fire is. Then I think that Daenerys will be queen, and I think she will have their child. But when it comes to Tyrion, I think Tyrion will survive. I think that Arya might die. Sansa will live, I think. And then everybody else, I think, is a possible casualty. because George R. R. Martin did say that Danny, Jon, Tyrion, Bran, and Sansa, I think. No, wait, and Arya. Bran and Arya. He didn't mention Sansa. In the original outline, those 5 characters were supposed to survive, right? So, since this is Endgame, like, this is how the series was going to end, I think Arya will possibly die. Sansa, I just don't see Sansa dying. Like, if I had to choose between Sansa and Arya, I would prefer maybe Sansa dying, but...
Oh, I couldn't have guessed that.
Why you gotta put me on blast like that, Amelia?
That's what I'm here for, as your wingman.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Let me ask you I was going to ask you a question. And I forgot. Daggone it. I hate when that happens.
Like I really like I'm gonna start making like predictions on stuff, like official ones. But like off the top of my head, that's how I just always envision Jon is gonna die. Because if Dany dies, it's sad because Dany never got what she wanted. You know what I mean? And if Jon dies, it's more in Jon's character. We see him continuously. He always does these stupid impulse things that always put him in a position where he's gonna die. Like, you know what I mean? So I think that's what is gonna end up happening. I think that Jon will die. It'll be a happy ending because he saved his loved ones and he saved the world. But I think he'll die. I think that Bran might die as well. Bran, I think, has to die to maybe kill the Night King.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask you. Thank you.
What?
Do you buy into this theory that Bran is the Night King?
Like, I was talking, it was cool because that's why I always tell everybody to follow me on Facebook, because I legit talk Game of Thrones with anybody who's like my friend on Facebook. If you write me and you want to talk Game of Thrones, and I have time, I'll write it. You know what I mean? Go check my Facebook page out down below. But I was talking with Marie Hill, Game of Theories with Marie, who's here in the chat, and we're talking about the Harry Potter. Like, I think that there is something similar with Harry Potter and Voldemort and the Night King and Bran. And basically, I don't believe that Bran is the Night King. I don't believe that. I do believe that he has a link with Bran, though. It might come through the mark. It might come through their green seer ability. Like, you know what I mean? But I do think that there is something there because, remember, if they are linked, it would give reasoning to why every time that the Night King sees Jon, he feels, or he looks like he knows Jon. You know what I mean? It's like, it seems like there's something there between Jon and the Night King. So I do believe that there is something there between Bran and the Night King, like some link, maybe some kind of similar to Voldemort with the whole Horcrux thing, that if you kill Bran, you probably might kill the Night King or something like that, or he might be able to die once you kill Bran or something like that. I have a video on that coming out soon. Guys should definitely check. If you're not subscribed, check that out. Subscribe for that video. But I think that there's something there, like a link similar to that of Harry and Voldemort. But I don't think that he's the actual Night King, no.
I just don't understand how people have this theory. Like, they're like, oh, all these signs point to him being the Night King. But then I'm like, if he is the Night King, why is he doing all of this? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. If Bran's the Night King, why is he doing this?
I mean, like,
right? Like, if you warmed into the Night King, why are you doing all of these horrible things?
Basically, I remember, I forgot, I think it was on Kyle's channel. I was on the chat. Or was it on Gemma, Secrets of the Citadel? And we were in the chat, and someone had said something along the lines of, like, maybe like the Night King, Bran had to turn into the Night King to like take control or lead them, and he'd be able to lead them and help Jon out that way. But I think that there's too much information there to pay that off in 6 episodes, so that's why I don't believe it. But I definitely think that there is a link between Bran and the Night King, because there's like too much there, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
my bad to everyone in the chat with the Harry Potter spoilers. My bad if you haven't seen it. I totally forgot about anything like spoiler related. I mean, if you haven't seen Harry Potter at this point, come on, man.
Well, he does, but I mean, it's just like John, so don't worry.
Thank you to Aaron again for another donation. Oh my God, Aaron goes crazy with these super chats. Thank you so much, Aaron, for the donation and the super chat. Thanks for your support. And again, I bought the other mic the other day, that Rode mic. It cost like $150. I definitely wouldn't have been able to buy that if you guys, without your donation. So thank you again, Aaron, for the donation and the support to the channel, and Marie and everybody else who donates. Because without you guys, we wouldn't be able to buy this type of stuff. And I plan on buying a new computer mic soon. So this is going to all of that. And thank you again, Aaron, for the donation, and Marie for earlier as well. But let's see.
Hey, Ray.
Yeah.
And thank you, Aaron, for supporting Ray. I'm just here as a wingman. I didn't mean to not thank her. Do you know what tomorrow is?
What? Yo, tell your direwolf it's okay. You have a direwolf up in that house.
Yeah, no. Do you know what tomorrow is?
No. I feel like I'm forgetting like an anniversary or something, and I just don't like
an anniversary.
Like, I don't know, some anniversary. Like, that's like one of those questions they put you on the spot. Like, you know what tomorrow is? No. Like when somebody asks you for their birthday, if you know their birthday, and I'm like, yeah, I know, but you really don't. What am I forgetting? I feel like I'm forgetting something.
Tomorrow's my birthday.
You see? Oh God! Happy birthday! It's okay that
you... No.
It is.
Thanks. Yeah.
Happy birthday, everybody! Show those cake and balloon emojis.
I mean, I don't expect you to remember it. I know Facebook will tell you.
I know it's like one has grown so dependent on Facebook, but everybody show Amelia some love. Everybody show cake and balloons and champagne and all that good stuff for Amelia. Happy birthday, Amelia!
Thanks.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm not gonna lie though, guys, and I'm gonna keep it 100. I am so happy to have met Amelia and Eva through YouTube. These are like some of like my really good friends, and Amelia and me, we talk like every day, like random stuff we be sending each other on Facebook. So like legit from the bottom of my heart, mad love to Amelia. Everybody show Amelia all that love in the chat, and let's be thankful for Amelia. Happy birthday, Amelia, again. And everybody
bless Peter Griffin. He said happy 21st. Add 11. I'll be 32.
You see what Big E wrote? He said it's a trap, right? Oh man, I'm telling you, that's like one of those questions you're like wait, what? What's the? But
and I wasn't gonna say anything, but I knew tomorrow when you saw on Facebook and you're like, why didn't you tell me yesterday? I knew you'd say something to me about not mentioning it.
Yeah, I would have been like, yo, we gotta tell everybody. It's tomorrow's National Amelia Day. Everybody spread the word. National Amelia Day. Follow her on Instagram and on Twitter, on Facebook.
No, listen, it's okay. Everybody gets Monday off because it's my birthday.
Oh, I mean, damn, it's true. You have like the perfect weekend like to party and just go like Beamer, Benz, and Bentley. You know what I mean? Just go like chill out.
Yeah. My mom went into labor on Labor Day.
Oh wow.
Isn't that funny? Yeah.
That's insane.
So my birthday always falls on a nice long weekend for everybody.
I mean, that.
Thank you all for the birthday wishes.
I mean, it would have. You know what would have been really great though, if we would have had an episode 8 season finale for your birthday. That would have been a great gift. But HBO had to botch it.
Yeah, it would have.
It's funny.
But it's okay because now tomorrow, like for my birthday, I don't have to worry about like Game of Thrones. Like I can.
I mean, it's funny. I still haven't put out my reaction to the last episode. I probably might release it tomorrow. And we were talking the other day in our Facebook chat about how HBO is releasing those behind the scenes, like the production thing. You want to tell everybody what you told me? I don't want to, because it was pretty funny what you had told me. About how HBO is squeezing it.
Yeah, well, yeah, like they're, what did I say? I'll pull up, I'll get out of that and then pull up, because it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, what you call it? But
Hold
I
on.
mean,
What did I say?
HBO, I think is every week now. They're going to be releasing, or like every couple of days, they're going to be releasing like the behind the scenes of every episode, which is insane. I probably might react to those. I mean, I gotta make videos, right? I have to make some sort of.
Oh
videos.
yeah. So I sent you the link. Yeah, Game of Thrones releases a 7-part behind the scenes series. So for the next, well, they've already done last week. So I sent the link to you, and I said HBO trying hard to retain their money.
I mean, how much could you juice?
And it says, and then I wrote, the article said the first one's free. The rest will only be on HBO, which I think is hilarious, because they're trying to, I mean, HBO is trying to do whatever they can to keep their, keep their money.
I want to know.
Since they only got 7 episodes.
I want to know in the chat, everybody who's already unsubscribed to HBO, everybody who canceled their subscription already to HBO.
I'm not. I'm the idiot that pays all year.
I mean, I'm paying all year still for it, but I mean, boy, oh boy, am I thinking about it? I want to see. I haven't seen that Deuce, What the Deuce or whatever, the James Franco show. I still haven't seen it, but I mean, it's insane how much they're trying to, juice Game of Thrones.
Can you blame them?
Shout out to Mara Jade and happy belated birthday to you. Thanks for joining us, Mara Jade. And happy belated. I mean, that was a good gift on Sunday, Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
That was a pretty... Your birthday brought the wall crashing down. You could say that. The wall came crashing down when it was your birthday, basically. Depending on where you live, right? I mean... All right, so...
Yeah.
Let's take some questions, some comments. If you guys have any questions for me or Amelia, you guys could put it in the chat. And, yeah, we'll definitely take a few questions before we head out. So, Amelia, what are we doing this year? While we wait for the questions to come in the comments, how frequently are we going to be doing live streams? Because I know we haven't talked about this. I think we could still do them weekly and put, like, topics. But are we doing a live stream next week?
Maybe.
I mean, we're going live next Saturday. We'll go live. I'm not sure. At least I'll be going live. I'm not sure. I don't want to commit Amelia yet, but I have to set up the topics and ideas and stuff that we're going to talk about. We have to have something to talk about. So next Saturday at 7. It probably might not be as long as now too, but we'll try to do as many live streams as possible, or as much as we can on the channel. Q&A.
We're going to do Westworld videos?
I think so.
We can just... I mean, like, we can just, like, set it to, like, an hour and just shoot the shit. And, whatever we want to argue about, we can argue about.
I mean, for the question BBM asked, yes, I will be doing Westworld probably this season. Westworld is one of those shows that it's like, if you haven't seen Westworld, you're questioning everything. Like, I remember me and Amelia, we would be like, yo, what about this? What about that? Oh my God, looking so much into it.
It's so much different, because you did have, like, we have so much material to talk about with Game of Thrones, and then it's, like, there's so much there. There's so much substance. And then when you watch Westworld, we're just sitting, like, blankly, like, what do you think is going on? And you have no idea. I mean, like, you have nothing to pull from.
If you haven't seen Westworld and you're looking for something to watch, now that Game of Thrones is in here, you could definitely watch Westworld, and trust me, you'll enjoy it. It'll probably be harder in the first, like, couple of episodes, but trust me, you'll get around to it. It has that same, like, killer mentality that Game of Thrones has. It's very mature. It's very open. It's not just like, oh, villains and bad guys. It's very complex. I really enjoy it. You guys should definitely check it out. But I probably will be doing videos.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I mean, it is gonna be the show that keeps HBO afloat after, and that's why they waited so long to do this season 2. And how long ago did I say this? When I was like, we're gonna have to wait how long for season 2 of Westworld? And now they're saying we're gonna have to wait a really long time for the final season of HBO. It's because they have now 2 huge moneymakers, and they're gonna alternate them and stretch it out as long as they can.
I mean,
which pisses me off, but also I can't blame him.
I mean, I personally, I think we will be doing them. You know what I mean? Probably we won't be as educated as we are in Game of Thrones or as versed, because Game of Thrones is like live breathe Game of Thrones, but Westworld
Yeah.
is something that we don't really have that much of. It's like something so new and so out there. You know, it's kind of hard to be knowledgeable about it. And
And it's hard. Yeah, it's hard to theory craft when you don't have any material to.
yeah, like with the books,
I don't. You know. But
with the books you could back things up with
yeah.
the books and the show, but with Westworld, it's like, yeah. Um, SM Down says, Q&A, are you ever gonna do the call-in line again? I really liked it. I will be doing it, but I was thinking about probably like, a couple of weeks not doing it, depending on if I'm by myself or if I'm with Amelia, because with Amelia it's a little bit more complex because she could hear you, but you can't hear her. So that's why I think that it's like a little bit harder until I probably buy a mixer. That's one of the things I was probably thinking about buying. I'm still considering. If I buy a mixer, you would be able to hear Amelia, you would be able to hear me, and it would be more of like a radio show. So I also have another channel that I'm gonna launch, and I haven't launched it yet, but I'm planning on probably doing like a little bit more fun stuff like vlogging and stuff like that. So you guys could definitely tune in for that. I think this might be the name.
Ray.
Of it. Huh?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I think this might be the name for it. I'm not sure yet. Rayz for days, but I'm not sure if that's still like a thing. Rayz for days, because
like
you're gonna have nonstop me in it, vlogging, like challenge and fun stuff, videos like that. So it's a little bit more of YouTube culture. You should do reaction to Knights of Bastardon. I don't know what that is, but I'm looking for shows. I know Amelia has The Long Night, and Amelia watches like anything you recommend. We had that Long Night list that you had, Amelia, and it was crazy, right?
I know. It was very crazy. This Long Night, I've already started, but I'm committing to absorb all possible knowledge that I can of the Star Wars universe, talking from like Knights of the Old Republic to present day. I know a lot. I mean, I know some already, but like books, cartoons.
Yo, I know everybody. I know a bunch of people in the chat are just like, oh my god, she loves Star Wars. They want to like.
I do.
They want to bend the knee right now to you, and they want to marry you. I know a bunch of.
I do love Star Wars, but I need to know more about the things I don't know about. Basically, like the same thing with like Game of Thrones, like this huge world that's been built. There's so much I don't know, so I'm doing that over the Long Night. Because like the other day, my kid was schooling me in Star Wars, and I was like, I can't have that. So.
I mean, I see here that
I'm doing that over the Long Night.
BBM says The Walking Dead, right? I've never watched one episode of The Walking Dead. It's just something that I don't gravitate towards. So I don't think I'll ever be really doing videos for that. Let's see.
Well, Peter Griffin said he was excited, and I'm excited for it too. American Horror Story Cult. Would you watch that or no?
I mean, like, I'm not really that much into the whole horror thing because it kind of gives me like anxiety. It's not even that I get scared. It's just like, are you gonna like kill this character or like I'm more into like superhero TV shows and stuff like that, like The Flash, Arrow. I know that Fox has this X-Men show coming up now. I forgot the name of it. So I'm definitely gonna watch that. I saw like Legion. I really like Legion. But there's a lot of good shows. Like I see Marie here says The Young Pope that she's watching. It's really good. I really enjoyed that. Punisher is coming up soon. Stranger Things. Oh my god, have you seen the Stranger Things trailer?
Yeah.
Oh my god, Thriller. Hey, did you see the Thriller video I sent you with the Night King on Facebook?
Yeah.
That joint had me rolling. I was just laughing so loud. But I think we're done for today. So do you want to say anything, Amelia, before we head out?
No. I mean, well, thank you. Hugs and love to all of you. Here we start another long night, and let's go to bed and say our prayers or whatever you do, that the rumors aren't true and that we are not going to have to wait until I'm like 36 for the next season, because we can't have that. But we'll be back on. It's not going to be like, yeah, we'll be back on. So you don't have to miss the two of us. Don't worry. And have a great long weekend and have a wonderful long night.
Yeah, I mean, I personally want to just say thank you to everyone who's in the chat. I want to give some shout outs before we head out. Shout out to BBM, Cheekiest Heart, Command Z, Eduardo Blanco, Eli, Aaron, Game of Theories with Marie. Check her out on YouTube if you haven't. Jim O'Donnell, JW Flux, Liana Stark, Lola Dixie, Mara Jade, Peter Griffin, Red Witch, Sam Flanagan, SM Down, Stutley Constable, and Todd Fowler. I see you with the new photo, Todd. You know, before it used to be like a yellow hoodie or something. I see you with the red, bro. Definitely dig it. I love red. As always, guys, it's always fun doing this. If you haven't, remember to subscribe, drop a like. It helps the channel hella lot. Why am I looking over here when the camera's over here? Drop a like. It helps the channel hella lot. You can hit that notification.
You're not even on. You're not even on your thing. It's still on me.
No, it's on me. It's on me. But
am I that far behind?
My computer is kind of lagging on here too. But like I said, if you haven't, hit that notification button so that you can get my videos. Because basically every video from here on out to the end of this, to the beginning of the next season, is going to be viewable for you guys because it's predictions and fun stuff like that. So remember, guys, as always, it's a true pleasure. My name is Ray, and peace.